Hi, and welcome back. My name is Deneen. You can call me D. I'm an astrologer and I teach people the psychology behind marketing. And today we're going to be hopping into Mars in Cancer. Okay, so Mars in Cancer, let's talk about it, alright? So one of the first Mars in Cancer clients I've ever had mutual reception. That was a doozy. Okay, and they were also a water sign. Ascendant. Okay, that was a doozy. That really had me like, you know what? If I can do this, I can do anything. Okay, so let's talk about Mars and Cancer. Now, Mars and Cancer, this energy can be a lot of sensitivity. Okay, that comes with it. Now, it can be sensitivity, okay, that comes with dealing with home matters, or specifically the care and that which is the nutrients that you needed to take action to begin with in the beginnings of life or in the first sprouts of life. Okay, all right, Mars and Cancer. So there could have been things that happened at home or things that happened earlier on, whether this is with a parental figure, okay, like the mom, but a parental figure nonetheless, okay, that the nutrients that you felt like was there might not have been what you felt was necessary for you to take proper action, okay? And as an adult, okay, there can be sensitivity or having sensitivity towards that or towards actions that are needed to take the correct actions for you. The key word is for you, okay? To create the home and the comfort and the safety that you want. All right? So let's break that down a little bit. Now, Mars in Cancer. Now, the actions that you could have been taught, all right, might not have been correct for you in the way that it did not benefit your level of comfort, your level of safety, okay, or your level of closeness that you want to cultivate now as an adult or now older on, okay? So Mars in Cancer, there's a lot of sensitivity that is there. And when I say sensitivity is not a bad thing. You can feel into a lot of things and undercurrents of a lot of things, okay, that happened earlier on in your life and that can affect you, okay, or can have an effect on you. And this is not always a bad thing. People go through things and that makes them even more amazing in their lives. And I know a lot of people might not want to hear that. And I know it might not be the most graceful way to say it as an astrologer, but to be very honest and to be very forefront, this is not a bad thing at all. And if you felt like you in your Mars placement by any means, okay, was anything bad or you having that was bad, it is not, okay? This person that I worked with very early on in my career, they got what they wanted. And they didn't have that their whole lives, okay? They were older than me. And this was something that even I was struggling with at one point in time in my life. And so to be able to help them and for them to take their power back and be able to accomplish those things, that was an eye-opening moment for me because they've been going through that their whole lives and they were way older than me. Okay? And to see how something so early on can affect you, and how even though that can be something that's deeply rooted, that doesn't mean that your idea of it or your perspective on it cannot change. And that cannot empower you, because it very much can. Okay? So Mars in Cancer, you have a lot of sensitivity, but that sensitivity is meant to be used towards creating, rooting, okay, and nurturing the environment that you do need to be able to feel safe, okay, to be able to feel secure, to be able to feel like I'm not just surviving, but I'm actually thriving. And this environment is for my benefit. It's comfortable for me. So this is something that you're going to learn, and you're actually going to be very, very good at when it comes to growing into this. So it might not be the most comfortable placement. It might not be the most comfortable movement that you will have going from one sphere of feeling about that to another sphere of feeling about that, because there was sensitivity to the actions that you might have taken or might have wanted to take, okay? But now being older and also being more refined in your experiences, because you have went through experiences where you were uncomfortable, okay? And this wasn't for your detriment, this was actually for your benefit, so you can understand what was making you uncomfortable, why you wanted to be around something like that, okay, where that was coming from, where that was stemming from, but also now correcting that and being around and being able to cultivate environments where you do love to go, okay, you would love to be there. These are the friends that you want. These are the people that you want in your life. This is what you want around you, okay? So Mars in Cancer, when you have that placement, yes, you have a fiery planet sitting with a sign like Cancer. That brings a lot of water, okay, and nutrients, and this can make for an environment where it's steam, okay, because just as the water is freaking flowing in, that steam is burning it up, because there might be a little bit of uncomfortability with this transition or this movement into these things, but that's not always the case, okay? We got to see what's going on, what aspects are being made, all right? But there can be a little bit of uncomfortability that comes, all right? This is, again, not to your detriment, very much to your benefit. And I can tell you there were so many, oh my goodness, there were so many things that this person, that they had been taught to be, okay, they were a water sign in their ascendant. They had been taught to be afraid of or to be scared of. And in all reality, you guys, sorry guys, had to do that real quick. But where was I? Oh goodness, I think I forgot. All right, but in all reality, that water being present in a fiery planet, it can create steam. So as the nurturing is coming in, there could be a little bit of frustration that's happening, okay, with receiving this. And this person, as I said, they were a water sign, water ascendant. They had a lot of things that they were taught to fear through actions that were taken early on by people around them, okay? And that translated to them internalizing a lot of things that they felt like were actions that they could also take, okay? Or actions or a way of acting that they were taking on, but it was not beneficial for them. And being able to see that, being able to unveil that, being able to tear up that script, and then being able to show a person, like, we don't have to just talk about it, we can be about it, okay? If anything, we're going to be for real, okay, over here, and we're going to take that action, we're going to do that, we're going to take that step. And sometimes that's having a thought, but also not just having that thought, taking the action and seeing it for yourself in real life, so you can see yourself in real life, okay? So if you have your Mars in Cancer and this resonated with you, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you don't ever want to miss out on any of our astrology videos or our psychology videos, you can go ahead and hit the like button and hit subscribe and the notification bell so you're always notified. I love you guys, and I will be seeing you guys next time. Bye.
You can switch up or act different, but my memory museum just won't take those from me.